If you want to listen to all of the episodes of this series right now, early release and ad-free, plus a whole host of extra fan club benefits, head to museumofpopculture.supportingcast.fm. Or if that's too much of a mouthful, just click on it in the show notes, which is the description bit that no one reads. It is, Susie, the end of the bleakest story we've ever told on this podcast.
Did I have a little peek behind the curtain? We were just talking about that when we were sipping our teas, pre-turning over, that it's different to the Spice Girls. Sure.
It's different to a lot of things, isn't it? Because you're like, I feel quite drained by the whole situation.
You feel drained. Can you imagine how Ray feels?
I know, exactly. It's been an absolute murder fest. And my fear is it's not over, Susie. So let's dip in for one final hit of Steve Banerjee's destruction of everything he could have got through the Chippendales, through bloodlust, envy and greed, which are three of the clubs he tried to get burned down as well. Basically, their new plan, Steve and Ray, is to kill Mike Fullington, who's the guy that is doing Adonis, Men of Hollywood.
Yes.
The tour is starting. They're going to Canada and then they're going to go to Europe. Steve wants Ray to kill Mike before he makes it to Canada. So he hands Ray an envelope, always handing envelopes of cash to people, constantly.
Red flag.
With his address in West Hollywood, Ray goes to look for a hitman. Sadly, Louis, his previous hitman, has been deported to Mexico because it turned out he was an illegal immigrant. Least of his problems, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I'd say so.
So he gets Louis' brother, Robin.
Oh, nice to keep it in the family.
Do you know what? This is what I hate about Assassins, is it really is jobs for the boys, isn't it? It's very difficult to break into that industry.
It really is. There's a real sense of nepotism within the mafia.
It's about who you know, isn't it? Rather than what you know.
What you know.
Being an organised crime. So this guy's called Rubin. He agrees to do the job. They wait for Mike Fullington outside his work. They know that he's in his work because Mike has a distinctive car, which is a blue Jeep with zebra pattern seat covers. Which I'm going to say it, Susie, sounds like the worst crime we've discussed for the whole of the podcast.
God, that's loud, isn't it? That is loud.
Well, they won't hear the gun over the sound of the seat covers. So they see Mike. Reuben reaches to shoot him, but Ray stops him because Ray is the world's worst criminal. Mm. He basically bottles out of it. And so they tell Steve that they never saw Mike. So they're going to have to go and kill Mike in Canada. That's what Ray later tells the FBI. There's no way of knowing if that's true. It can be argued that that was Ray's story to show how difficult he was finding this to get some leniency. Mm-hmm. Ray orders Steve to go to Canada to kill Mike. Ray decides, best of both worlds, he's going to go to Canada but not kill Mike.
Sure. Sure.
He instead goes to see his sister and then just tells Steve that he's been to Canada but been unable to find Mike. It's a weird approach to hitmanning, isn't it?
Well, also, I feel like if they're doing a tour, you probably could hunt him down.
Yeah, just say I didn't see him. Well,
but why don't you go to the venue?
Yeah.
It literally says where he's playing.
There's only one door. There's a stage door.
When you're on the road, you know exactly where we are.
Yeah, exactly. That's the point of a tour.
People know where you're going to be.
It's a really grim end to that. He doesn't end up killing Mike.
Thank God.
Well, no, because Mike dies.
Oh.
So they don't kill him. Incredibly, Steve then identifies two other members of Adonis that he once killed.
Bloodlust.
He's just lost his mind, hasn't he?
Who was that guy that used to dress up nice to pump people's gas?
I know, exactly. Who's that guy? Who was the guy that, thought it would be nice to get more women into nightclubs? That's all he wanted within his life was a few more women through the door. Before he knows it, he's taking out contracts on Men in Blackpool. He wants Steve White, not Steve Wright, Steve White, who's the producer.
What a guy.
Do you not remember this element of the story? Steve Wright has done an interview with Adonis on Radio 2.
Sunday Love Songs.
He's had Adonis on Sunday Love Songs, and he's not going to stand for that. No, he wants Steve White, who's the producer, formerly of the Chippendales, and also a man called Reed Scott, who's Adonis's creative director. Also, right, this is what blows my mind. People already think, well, he hated Nick Denoyer and Nick's been killed.
Yes.
To then start murdering the people in charge of Adonis feels absolutely unhinged, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, I think he's totally lost his sense of...
Yeah, I suppose it's not logical, but you're not covering your tracks. You're just getting people killed all the time.
Yeah.
He offers 25 grand a head. There's another one who's an ex-Chippendales dancer. He says, if you kill all three, I'll round it up to 100 grand. He's nothing if not generous, Susie. He likes a deal.
Yeah, I was about to say, what? That means a bonus 50 grand.
No, three. Three for...
100.
3 for 100, but it would have been 75 grand. 25 grand a head, or a bonus 25 grand for killing all three.
No, if it was 25 grand a head, Josh, that would be 50.
No, there's three of them. 3 25s is 75.
Oh, and then if he gets the fourth...
No.
Around up to 100.
Sorry, are you Ray? This feels like a conversation between...
I think I'm right. So for two of them, 25 grand a head, 50 grand. For three of them, 100 grand.
He would have got 25 grand for the three, is what I mean.
Right, okay.
The third one is worth 50 grand.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Hey, it's nice work if you can get it.
Exactly. Do you know what? I'm in the wrong game, Susie. I'm in the wrong game.
All right, McCartney.
So, Ray, call back to earlier, calls our old friend Strawberry's back. You know, the one who wanted to do it with his friend.
Yeah.
Ray says, it'll be two people, not one. Strawberry has just been laid off from it, and Strawberry needs the money. He's lost his job.
Sure.
So Strawberry takes the gig without a friend.
Oh.
Strawberry asked where it's going to take place. Ray says England. Strawberry surprised, but he's still interested. He says, the classic Strawberry, he says, I'll just have to check with my wife. But then she says yes, so he agrees. And he's in LA 2 days later, ready to go to England.
Do you think he's telling his wife, is it all right for me to go and kill this person? Or just saying, do you mind if I go to London?
Well, I don't know. It's a difficult one, isn't it?
Yeah.
He has a long debate with his wife where they can't work out whether the third one is worth 50 grand bonus or whether it's just 25 grand bonus. They're having this long discussion.
Wait a minute, you've got quite ready hair. Are you Strawberry?
I am Strawberry, yeah. Obviously, they can't use a gun for this, Susie, because they can't. You can take a gun on an internal flight, but
right.
You're going to struggle on an international flight. So they decide to make their own cyanide.
Okay.
It feels very, very different to when we were doing Stock Aitken and Waterman on this show. Do you know what I mean?
Very different.
Feels like we've entered a really dark world of podcasting where people are making their own cyanide. This is meant to be about the fucking Chippendales.
Yeah, but, people love murder pods.
People love murder pods, Susie. Here we are.
Here we are.
Do you know what? Head over to our Instagram, Museum of Pop Culture Pod, and we'll pop on some dead bodies for you, if that's what you're into.
Oh, gross.
All right, we won't. It'd be just lovely clips about pop culture. Do follow.
How do you make cyanide? Do you know?
Well, the way they do it is they mix it, put on rubber gloves, and when Ray's family is out at work and his son's out, they just mix up the poison in a sink.
Oh, my God. Ray, where your son eats, you're going to just knock up some cyanide.
They do. They just knock up cyanide. They put it in a syringe. Strawberry dyes his hair black so that he's no longer got Strawberry recognisable hair.
Now he's Blackberry.
Yeah, he calls himself Blackberry. And he invents a phone. And that's how Strawberry goes straight. He takes a map of England to get to Blackpool, the Adonis itinerary, and the cyanide. It really is the ultimate assassin kit. The map of England, the itinerary of the people you're killing, and the cyanide. If you get searched, no one's ever going to guess what you're doing in that situation.
Why didn't they make the poison when they got to England?
That, Susie, I don't know. That does feel like a simple thing you could do. Maybe they've got underworld connections, so they need to get the ingredients.
Sure.
I mean, at this stage, I don't think that they're just very good at their jobs.
What makes you say that?
Well, Ray's had 100 jobs since we started episode 1.
Yeah, and he's not thrived in any of them, I don't think.
So I've got bad news about Strawberry, Susie.
Oh, Blackberry, what's up?
Blackberry. So Blackberry's told Ray that he's got a friend in London called Jake Smith who he's going to stay with, and he might need Ray to wire some money to Jake Smith, right?
Right.
Strawberry gets there and he calls Ray and he says, can you wire $200 to my friend who I'm staying with in London? He's called Dan West. He's just totally changed the name of the friend he's staying with.
Right. Does Ray pick up on that?
Not at this stage, no.
Right.
So he just wires some money to Dan West.
Okay.
And then a few days later, Strawberry tells Ray that one of the murders has been done.
Oh.
And Ray, like you, falls for it. Strawberry wants to know if Ray has sent the money to his friend since he didn't have enough money to fly home. Ray promises to send the money after that afternoon, and then after the call, Ray says he's increasingly certain that Strawberry might not be who he thinks he is and might have informed the police. His evidence is that Jake Smith has become Dan West, and that is suspicious when the man you're wiring money to totally changes their name.
Yes.
Ray says he thinks West's probably a cop, and Ray is right. Strawberry is an informer.
He's turned.
Strawberry's turned, and Dan West isn't a cop, he's an FBI special agent.
Sure.
And they're going to use the money to help trap Ray, like convict him of murder, conspiracy to murder.
Yeah.
So he hasn't committed the murder. Strawberry hasn't committed the murder. He's just lied.
No.
You'd think if you were Ray, even before the internet, you'd be able to check if the murder of a high-profile member of Adonis had been committed.
I don't know.
Do you not think it would be in the news?
I think it probably would be in the news, but I don't know how quickly.
Yes.
I don't know if it would be like a week later. It might make page 4.
And I suppose with cyanide, it might just look like the guy's died. It might not look like he's been murdered.
Or like it's a drug overdose or something.
Yes.
If anything, the fact that, if you were doing the murders, it would be great if it wasn't in the press.
Well, exactly, yeah. Strawberry is so good that he's managed to not put it in the press.
Yeah.
So Ray is then sat at home after Strawberry's call, watching a TV show called Cops in his boxer shorts.
Not Cops in his boxer shorts.
He loves stripping.
Yeah.
No, he's in his boxer shorts.
Fine. I thought as much, but I wanted to double check for the listeners.
He's watching Cops, and then he hears vehicles screech up to the front of his house, and it is the cops.
The feds, they were going to come.
And they come to interrogate Ray. They tell him he's facing 15 years in prison, if not more. They say, we're not going to arrest you tonight, but there will be arrest at some point.
Watch out.
Yeah, it's a kind of weird thing to do, isn't it, that?
Yeah, awful tease for the rest of your life.
It's quite a stressful one, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's happened is Strawberry hasn't gone to Blackpool. He basically got to Heathrow, and in his hotel room, he had second thoughts.
Oh, I went to the FBI.
Well, he calls the Drug Enforcement Agency's office in Miami and speaks to an agent who he was previously a paid informant for, and they send him to the FBI, and then the FBI fly him to Vegas. So when he's actually calling from England, he's in Vegas.
Right.
And the FBI are with him, and they're taping every word.
He should have done 1471 after.
Presumably this is in the days before an international dialing tone. But no, because he's phoning in. I admit that's stupid of me. In England, meanwhile, Detective Superintendent Graham Gooch, who is not the England opening batsman, who I'm sure you're aware of, Susie.
Of course.
He informs the Adonis business manager, Steve White, that Ray has hired someone to kill them. And so Adonis are aware of what's happened as well. And White says there is only one person that would have ordered that, Steve Banerjee. And so the FBI are like, all right, it's all coming back to Steve now, Susie. It's all coming back to Steve.
It's all coming back. It's all coming back to Steve now.
Whose song was that?
Celine Dion's.
Do you know what? It's good to get some actual pop culture in this series because it's been 2.5 episodes of pure murder.
Yeah.
I don't mean as in your company, Susie. I mean as in...
Oh, this is murder.
This is absolute murder. Won't someone sing Celine Dion? Because this is absolute murder. So August the 1st, they make good on their threat and Ray is arrested. Ray says he's a bit embarrassed by being arrested because he's previously counselled kids and given anti-drug and anti-crime lectures in local schools. Of course, he has another one of his jobs.
Oh, my God.
In the FBI find in his house, 46 grams of potassium cyanide in his garage.
You've got to get rid of that.
200 milligrams would kill one person. Therefore, Ray has enough cyanide to kill 2,300 people.
Oh, my God.
In his garage.
I'm amazed he hasn't accidentally killed himself.
I know, he's so thick, isn't he?
Yeah, given what we know of him.
So Ray gets shoved in prison, Susie. It doesn't feel unfair. He has organised murders, but...
But they need to get Steve as well. They got to get him.
When he's in prison, guess who's in the same prison as him? His old mafia boss, Rocky Del Armo, who strides into his cell. Ray tells Rocky what's happened, and Rocky is livid. And the reason is Rocky's livid. He's furious at the way that Steve has treated Ray. And he basically says that Ray's wife and family need to be taken care of, proper mafia kind of. He hasn't taken care of you, hasn't taken care of your family. And this is mad coming from a mafia man. Rocky says Ray should inform on Steve. So Ray starts calling Steve's office every day from the prison, and then he pays other inmates to have their visiting relatives deliver sealed envelopes to Steve. He's trying to get in touch with Steve, but Steve basically avoids him, never writes back, never answers the phone to him. So Rocky decides to see Steve himself. He says, wait until I get out and then I'm going to go and see Steve. And then a few days after Rocky is finally shipped out of prison, Steve calls Ray. So he's obviously had the absolute scares put on him by Rocky.
Yeah.
And Ray says, look, I need a good lawyer to avoid prison. And he says, you've got to pay for the lawyer to avoid prison. So Steve basically pays this lawyer 70 grand and then another 20 grand and then another 74 grand.
Oh my God.
To pay for...
I'm in the wrong business.
You're in the wrong... to pay for the bills. The best thing is Steve is paying for the lawyer who then advises Ray to inform on Steve.
Oh, that's great.
It's good, isn't it?
It's really good stuff.
Ray pleads guilty to 1 count of murder, 1 count of conspiracy in relation to the murder of Nick DeNoia, the attempted murders of the Adonis troupe, but the case is sealed, so Steve doesn't know it's going on, right?
Right.
He doesn't know that Ray's pled. The FBI instead, what they do is they put a wire on Ray and get him to go and meet Steve again.
Yeah.
It's all very exciting, isn't it? I'd say in a way this is the most dramatic episode we've ever done.
Yeah, for sure.
The least about the pop charts.
The least cozy.
It's the least cozy. Like, it's the most tense. So join me as Ray goes to meet Steve at the International House of Pancakes.
What would your order be?
Oh,
Sweet or savoury?
I'd go sweet.
Same.
I don't really agree with savoury pancakes. There's a Dutch pancake house, isn't there, in London?
Yeah, I've been.
Have you? I can't be bothered to go and buy pancakes. They feel like a step too far for me.
You make pancakes a lot, though.
Well, I do make pancakes a lot. Guilty.
You make pancakes a lot for breakfast.
Not for my own breakfast, my children's breakfast. Let's be very clear on that. I'm not feasting on a pile of pancakes every morning. I
wouldn't judge you. I've seen your body. You can get away with it.
Maybe I'll go out for dinner tonight to the International Pancake House. International House of Pancakes.
Yeah, get it right.
Oh, I don't need to correct myself on that.
I know.
If anyone knows that, they already know the story, so they're not still listening to this going, what's going to happen?
Yeah, they're switching off.
They're going, give us a 4-parter about All Saints. That's what we're here for.
Saw them live.
Save it,
Twice.
Susie. Save it. Save it. We're talking about the Chippendales.
Sorry.
Do you remember the Chippendales? Because I don't feel like we've mentioned them in this episode at all.
Yeah, which guys were they?
Yeah.
Oh, Hot Bods. Yeah, okay.
Hot Bods. Do you remember about 3 hours ago before this just became an absolute mafiosa kill fest? Right. So they go and meet in the International House of Pancakes. Ray's wearing a wire. Steve's worried that Ray is flipped, turned or whatever it's called.
Yeah, you would
Flipped
think.
is obviously what you do in the International House of Pancakes.
I imagine it's what a lot of the Chippendales do as well.
Yeah. So Steve motions for Ray to come down the corridor with him. And in the toilet, Steve motions for Ray to follow him into the stall. Ray's about to say something and Steve puts his index finger to Ray's lips, which is always a classic move. By the way, at this point, Steve's not going to end up having sex with Ray.
Okay.
Because the finger on the lips does say, less talking, more kissing, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does.
So Steve tells Ray to pull his trousers down. Once again, I should add, Susie, despite...
He's guessing.
They're not going to have sex. And to lift up his shirt, right?
Oh, he knows he's wearing a wire.
Ray undoes his trousers, drops his trousers to his ankles, lifts his shirt. Steve starts rubbing his upper and lower body. He slides his hand up to Ray's crotch, grabs his testicles. Ray says, come on, Steve, you're going overboard. Ray grabs his trousers and yanks them back up. He yells at Steve that he wasn't wearing a wire. And he says, Steve, how do I know that you're not wearing one? And Steve basically begins to undress. And Ray says, no, forget it. I don't need you to prove that. Quite a weird scene that, isn't it?
Where is his...
He's just got a well-hidden wire, I suppose, high up or something.
Fine, yeah.
They like sew it into your clothes, don't they? So it's not like you're wearing a mic like you would on television.
Yeah.
So they finally go and sit down at a table, but Steve will only communicate by writing stuff down for the whole conversation because he's so worried about the wire. And Ray tells him his only hope of getting out of the country is he needs a fake passport and some money. Steve gives Ray 40 grand.
By this point, Ray has been expensive.
Yeah, that $7,000 feels a long time ago, doesn't it?
Really does. Yeah, what, 70 odd grand twice for lawyer fees?
Yeah.
Then another 40 here.
It's mad, isn't
I'll
it?
say it again. Steve, if you'd been less greedy,
Yeah.
if your ego had been smaller, if you'd been happy with your lot, you would be having a bloody lovely life now.
Totally agree. So, October the 1st, Ray visits Louis. Basically, he's in Nick. So, Ray's next job is to record Louis admitting to the crime. Louis is the one that shot Nick DeNoia. Ray tells Louis that the mafia are the people that organised the hit, and the witness has seen Louis running from the crime scene. Basically, Ray says, if I don't take care of the problem, my life will be on the line. Ray says there's witnesses who are blackmailing people, right? Mm-hmm. And he asks Louis to kill the witness, who doesn't exist, obviously. He's just trying to get Louis to admit to stuff. Ray says he'll pay $100,000 with a guarantee that his people will never know of Louis' identity. And then Ray has gone in with a tape recorder in his pocket. Afterwards, the FBI listened to the tape recorder. It turns out that not a word of the conversation has been recorded on the tape recorder. The only bit that's been recorded was Ray and the agents talking on the drive out of the prison. So he's obviously pressed record when he's thought he's pressed stop. He's basically recorded the bit after the conversation, Susie, rather than the actual conversation.
Oh, Ray.
He's so shit at everything, it's unbelievable.
Poor guy. I mean, not poor guy, because like he's okay with like ordering hits on people, but...
Yeah, he meets Louis again on December the 24th, and he manages to record it that time. Christmas Eve as well.
Oh, well done, mate.
So he manages to get the whole thing on tape. Louis is arrested, and he admits everything. So now all that's left is for Ray to trap Steve. At the end of January 1993, the Justice Department tell Ray that he's got to go to Europe. That's what he's got to do. Basically, he's got to go and meet Steve in Switzerland and get Steve to talk. So they go and they meet at the Ramada Renaissance near Zurich Airport. The Swiss put a bug on Ray. So this is how they do the bug, Susie. They thread it through his hood so they could listen in any conversation with Steve and Ray outside of the hotel room. Also the Swiss police, right? It's all made for Steve. There's people working on the desks. There's people working in the restaurants that are Swiss police. That means that when Steve checks in, they can give him a room that's got 2 empty rooms next to the room so they can listen. It's all perfectly set up. So Steve and Ray meet in the restaurant in the hotel. They sit down for drinks and dinner. What does Ray do? Unbelievable. He takes off his jacket and lays it across the back of the booth, meaning...
Oh, you're fucking kidding me. Oh my God, this guy! Arrest him! Arrest him! Put him in prison.
So basically, obviously, the bug in the jacket is too far away. They're not going to hear a single word. But what they do, they get a fake waiter, to come over and move them to a different place in the restaurant in the hope that he'll put his jacket back on when they move. He says, there's a large party coming in. They need your table. Can you move to the bar area? They move to right where the pianist is playing. So obviously there's sound problems with that. It's an absolute, I'm going to say it again, it's a crapshoot, Susie. I don't know what it means, but it's an absolute.
No, but it's crapshoot.
So they move to a different area of the restaurant. Finally, they go back to Steve's room, right? It's all bugged. It's all fine. Finally, they have a conversation about the DeNoia case, and they're talking about that. It's being picked up on the thing.
Finally.
What did I warn you about in the last episode? What were we going to get a comeback of? Ray falls asleep.
Oh my God. Ray falls asleep when he's meant to be getting a confession.
So Ray's talking to Steve, and then the FBI suddenly hear snoring coming from the room, and they realise that Ray has fallen asleep in the hotel room.
With Steve in there?
With Steve in there.
This is nuts.
It's Ray's hotel room, I should say, not Steve's. I got that wrong earlier. So it's Ray's hotel room, so it's all bugged. They're next to it. And so they're like, right, do we go in? Because Steve is alone with the sleeping body of this guy that he could easily bump off, and it would be very helpful for him.
Yeah.
They make the decision to wait and see what happens. Steve watches Ray sleeping for a few minutes to make sure he's asleep, and then he slowly and quietly begins searching Ray's belongings, the furniture in the room. Mm-hmm. He doesn't find a bug because he's bad at that. And then he returns to the chair and just sits there silently. And then after half an hour, Ray wakes up. How bad is Ray at this? It's almost unbelievable.
This is insane.
So the conversation then turns to Strawberry and the London murder. And eventually they record Steve saying, the feds don't have anything concrete yet. They don't have any proof that I gave you the money, bought the gun with you, or that I gave you D's address or any information about D being the Adonis guy. I won't talk to anyone, so they don't have me on tape. Obviously, the classic, this is all on tape. Eventually, when it's starting to get light, Steve says he's going to go. He throws Ray some money and he says, there's $9,000, count it. Ray counts the money, there's $7,000. And that is the perfect end to their friendship. Steve is then arrested by the FBI on September the 2nd. Obviously, that makes huge headlines across the world because no one knows there's any crime involved with the Chippendales.
Yeah, of course.
Steve's attorneys basically say, we've listened to the tapes in Zurich, you're fucked, mate. If he's convicted, he'll get 55 years in prison. He's 46. He'll get a fine of 1.5 million. I mean, that doesn't really matter if you've got 55 years in prison.
Well, yeah, he'll be 99 when he gets out.
He'll be 99 when he gets out. There's a lot of life left in him, Susie. But then, almost, Steve manages, a lifeline comes to him. There's an earthquake that hits California and Ray's house suffers $83,000 worth of damage. If Ray dies, then there's no witness, Susie. But he doesn't die. But then, a few weeks after the quake, Ray suffers a heart attack. But he survives. He's released from hospital, but his health problems worsen. His kidneys give him terrible pain. He urinates blood.
Oh, God.
And he basically has an infection of the right kidney. He's taken to the medical centre. And when the FBI visit, the doctor tells them that Ray might not survive. However, he pulls through. But then he's at home recuperating. He deteriorates rapidly. He's rushed to hospital. They have an emergency operation. They remove his right kidney. He basically fights for his life. A Catholic priest comes to him and he confesses on his deathbed to the arsons, the attempted murders, the Denoyer murder. But he pulls through. And Steve's attorney basically has heard that Ray is ill, so he's trying to get the trial delayed because he's thinking if Ray dies, then I might be able to get Steve off this.
Yeah.
But he doesn't. Steve agrees a plea deal, which is 26 years in prison. And worst of all, he's going to forfeit the Chippendales ownership to the US government. I love the fact that the US government suddenly owns a strip troop.
Are they still going?
Well, Susie, you'll find out. So in slightly grim, but, slightly predictable turn of events, Steve takes his own life the day before he's sentenced. So Steve dies at the age of 47. Ray serves 2 years in prison and under house arrest, and he's released in June 1996. Lopez, who's the guy that did kill Nick Denoyer, he gets 25 years. And Ray says of Steve, he destroyed my honour. He beat me. He was smarter than me. No shit, Ray. But in the end, I outsmarted him. I got him. I became a piece of shit, but he became dead.
Yeah, really hammering home the fact that he's not bright with that statement.
He became dead.
It feels like the type of thing my 5-year-old would say.
He became a piece of shit. I became a piece of shit.
Well, I wouldn't say piece of shit.
No.
She might say he became dead.
So, what happens to the Chippendales, Susie?
But this is my question, because obviously I'm trying to book tickets.
Well, in the late 80s and early 90s, it kind of declines in popularity. In 1995, it's bought by Lou Pearlman. If you don't remember Lou Pearlman, do you ever watch that documentary Making a Band on T4?
Yeah.
He was the manager of Backstreet Boys.
Okay.
He was like the kind of American version of Simon Cowell, right?
Okay.
He buys the Chippendales and they rebound and they become really popular again in the 90s. In 2008, Lou Pearlman, and we will do a series on him because he's incredible. He's been running one of the longest Ponzi schemes in the history of America. And he is sentenced to 25 years in prison. Imagine if, like, Simon Cowell suddenly got revealed to be a complete financial con man. That's how big a news that was, right?
Oh, my God.
And so since then, it's been owned by a kind of... Well, before then, actually, he wasn't the owner of Chippendales at that point. But, he's been caught by the curse of the Chippendales, Susie.
I thought the curse of the Chippendales would be chlamydia.
Yes, of course.
But it's so much darker.
It's so much darker, Susie. The curse of the Chippendales is so extreme. The one in LA is closed. The one in New York closes shortly after September the 11th, 2001. I don't know if those two things are related. I can't imagine they are. Maybe it is. But it gets a second life, the Chippendales. So it starts travelling around the country after this guy called Kevin Denberg, who's the managing partner. He gets a bus and he just takes dancers around the country on tour. And then they just build it up again. And in 2002, they lay their roots in Las Vegas. And Susie, it's still there to this day. It's thriving. You can still go to the Chippendales. The Chippendales are still performing to sold-out houses. Our home in the Rio All-Suite Hotel and the casino in Las Vegas for over 20 years, as well as our domestic and international tours. That's what they say. That's the quote from the Chippendales, Susie. And tickets are $49.95 to $149.
Wow. Okay.
So if you want to go and see the Chippendales,
I will have to fly to Vegas.
That is, Susie, the story of the Chippendales. How different was that from what you expected when you sat down this morning?
Very different. So much more murder.
So much more murder.
I thought it would be a jolly romp through the 80s, 90s and noughties, but instead it was bloodlust, greed, ego, and a really thick guy.
Yeah, it really was the meeting of a psychopath and an idiot.
How are Crane and Crosby?
Oh, there we go. We all know which is which as well. That's the worst thing. Any listener will know which is which. Susie, thank you for joining me. Next time, let's make it far less bleak.
Yeah, let's do something a bit jollier.
With less murder. See you then. That's it for this series of Archive of Pop Culture. Thank you for listening. Do join the fan club. You'll get all of the next series way before everyone else. Straight away, in fact. Plus, you'll get loads of bonus episodes. Oh, there's loads of extra ad-free. You know the jazz, monthly exclusive, often live episodes. Free tickets to the annual Archive of Pop Culture live show. That's a guaranteed ticket or streaming link. And the event is not available for general sale. Plus, did I say pin badge? The ultimate prize. Oh, my word. It's the NatWest Piggy Bank of 2026. Simply head to museumofpopculture.supportingcast.fm to find out more and sign up to the fan club, or click the link in the episode description. We love the community that's building around this show. Thank you for all the support so far and helping us make the episodes. It is a great joy. Archive of Pop Culture is a Keep It Light media production hosted by me, Josh Widdicombe. Research by Mira Patel and Emily Pickthall. Additional editing by Will Fitzpatrick. Design by John Gregory. Music is by Pickle and Button. We will see you soon. Goodbye.